Come back to Monday afternoon is round about 3:30. A bit of Italian politics. I've been telling you about the wokey trade unions here in Italy and a geezer called Landini. We must fight against this corrupt government. He's referring to Meloni and stuff like that. Strangely, he never done it 30 years ago when they abolished the Scala Mobile and other workers' rights. Article 18 of the Workers' Statute, and he was in favour with the government of Conte and Draghi for workers to be jabbed to go to work with the Green Pass. And he says everyone must have to take this thing. I think people forget about this. Now he's waking up. He's that one who defends workers' rights, which they never did in a certain way. They just sold out themselves to the corporations, the multinationals, when it comes to renewal working contracts, really. Now we've got Sheng, the secretary of the Democratic Party, the Italian one, just saying if I was in power, I would give €5 billion to the Fiat. Why do you think Meloni took away €5 billion? Because 4 years ago, under government Conte Draghi, they got €6 billion from taxpayers as stimulus. And seeing how this electric car mandatory thing and production, which they got money for, car producers, it doesn't sell. No one wants it. People prefer to stick to their petrol and diesel cars. And there's always a discussion of infrastructure for these things. These politicians does not seem to look at these things because in practice, it will have impact on the population. And afterwards, we must sell 22% of car sales must be of electric cars. If it doesn't sell, here in Italy, it's only 0.5% of registered vehicles currently on the road in 2024. And that goes for hybrid cars as well. It goes to show, even if electric cars, when petrol cars came out, they came out at the same period more than 100 years ago. What was more better? Petrol and diesel cars. It's a bit like the war between the video formats, VHS and Betamax. Who won? VHS. It's always a more versatile, more cheaper solution in these things, which in the end wins. People want petrol, diesel cars still, and they have to be affordable or reliable as well. They don't want electric cars. You can throw in all the government incentives into it. Any country, you can make it mandatory sales. You can't force people to buy a thing which they don't want. It seems to be absolutely absurd, this thing. And even the CEOs of these multinationals, corporations, which they make cars, they want it even mandatory by the government on consumers buy their electric cars. One is too expensive. Who the hell you are to ask for the punters to buy things which they don't want? We don't live in a communist country, not yet. There's a question of supply and demand. If there is a demand for a certain thing, you produce it. That's what they called free market. Or they've forgotten what's a free market and what capitalism is all about. Well, their ways of seeing it, if they continue on this key, is only going to get worse. More factories are going to close, more people unemployed, And those who remain will make cars really expensive to produce, because there's only a few around. If you make them in huge numbers, production costs, you can keep it down. Politicians, these trade union leaders, these net zero nincompoops, they don't know nothing about how the average Joe and Jill passes their day. From the moment they get up until they go to bed. Work, how to commute, and what income they live on. They don't know the struggles and strives of common people, politicians, and their so-called elites, which want to dictate to us their Agenda 2030. I think this is all just about electric cars, and a few will be able to afford it. The elites, in the end, while the plebs and the commoners will be using public transport, or by foot, or by bike. Because these people, they hate middle-class people. Middle-class people are the backbone of the economy in every nation. They're the ones who pay the taxes. If you want to make them more poor, how are you going to collect them taxes? Push them up taxes. People will pay less taxes. It's a crazy, crazy world with these people.